What's up, family? Surprise, surprise. I'm gonna rush this real quick because I realize I'm doing a project that a lot of y'all might want to see. So basically, I'm putting recessed lighting in our, what do you call this, living room. So right now, I went and got this light, which is neat, but I hate it because it's not putting out enough light at Lowe's. And I don't know if you remember before, but there was like a really small little chandelier hanging there and it looked stupid and out of place. And I kept hitting my head on it because it hung too low. Shouldn't no chandelier be hanging in the middle of the living room. So I'm gonna add recessed lighting, 6 lights in this living room, and basically, hopefully, sorry Kai, told you to stay out of the way. When it's all said and done with, it'll look similar to these. Puts out a lot of light, makes the room look bigger. They're up and out of the way. So I'm gonna show y'all the parts, but right now I'm gonna roll up and go back up into the attic, and I'm gonna show y'all what I'm doing up there. Basically, I'm using, because it's just me doing this, so I'm using these vents as my markers. I know exactly where they're at in the attic, and I'll show you up there. So that's gonna be the spots that I mark, and I plan on putting them like 6 feet apart. Okay, family, so I'm up here in the attic now. It takes quite a bit to get up here. So let me switch my flat. I put a little light, work light up here, because there's a work light kind of shining down because there's no light up here. And I guess by code it doesn't need to be a light because there's no equipment up here. If the AC was mounted inside the roof or inside the ceiling attic, they would have to have a light by code, but because everything's mounted on the roof, which I never wanted, but I'm not gonna complain. So that's here's a little hole I had to crawl through. Hold on. Had to crawl through this little guy, and that's where I came in, way over there. So it's actually quite a bit of room up here, a lot more room than the last house. So here's the duct or the vent that I was looking at down there, and I measured out. I probably put the first light like right here, a foot away from this. And what I'm gonna do is I said 6 feet, so I'm gonna go 6 feet that way, 6 feet back the other way in both directions, and make sure they land in a good spot for me to put, because I gotta cut a 6-inch hole in diameter. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but I'm gonna measure everything out to make sure everything lines up the way it should be. You see me, I'm trying to breathe out of my nose right now because I'm trying not to stir up too much dust because I haven't put a mask on yet, but I'm about to, because anytime you go in your attic or under the house, you always want to wear a mask. You don't want to breathe that stuff in. You never know what they put in houses if you didn't build it. Even if you did, you don't want fiberglass in your lungs. So yeah, so I'm gonna measure this out, make sure everything goes, and I'm thinking once I get the holes cut, measured and cut, I can do the rest from below, which is great. I can run the wire, not from below, I gotta run the wire up here too, but that'll be quick and easy. Throwing the wire across the, because I'm using metal flex, I'm not using Romex cable. The difference, this is Romex, which is typically in residential houses. Because I've dealt with so many commercial buildings, I have quite a bit of metal flex, and I'll show you that. And it doesn't need to be protected nearly as much because it's literally wired inside a metal cable, protected sheathing. So like I said, I'm gonna measure that out and then see where we go, and I'll let y'all know. Yeah, bear with me. All right, y'all, so I went down. I had to take it out. I don't think I told you. I had to take it out to 6 feet 10 inches. I went down and measured it out down there to double check to make sure everything laid out in the right spot. So now I'm gonna come up and drill my first 2 holes in the center, and then I'm gonna go down there, measure everything out, and drill the big holes from down there. So I'm gonna do a little small hole up here and then do the big holes down there, and then I run my wire. After I run my wire, I'll be done in the attic. So I know it sounds like a quick process. I don't think it'll go as quick as possible, but I do got my respirator now. That's a must. I should have never came up here without it. So if anyone's ever doing anything at your house, in the attic or under the house, always wear a respirator. Never fails, always. So all the dust settled from earlier. I actually just took this off just so I could vlog because I wore it up here. It's overkill, but you can't be safe enough. So yeah, so this time I'm gonna be stirring up a whole lot more dust because I gotta get all this. I need to, after I do everything in this house, I'm gonna get this whole thing sprayed, insulated and everything, because this is old stuff. But so I gotta move all this insulation out of the way. So when I move that, it's gonna be horribly dusty and cloudy in here. What I do love about this house is attic fan. So this is a thermostat to the attic fan. So right now I have it set to 100. I actually did that last couple weeks ago. I'm gonna probably knock it back down to like 50, just so it'll kick on. So as I'm doing all this, all that dust will be exhausted out. But yeah, so wish me luck. Y'all wanna see my respirator mask? This is it. Hold on, let me put it on. Yeah, so it's overkill, but you can't be too safe. We will come for your family. No, so peace out. All right, y'all. So I measured everything out. Like I told you, I started with the middle one because that's what I was measuring everything from. And I measured from the wall to that hole and did the same thing all the way across. So I've cut the first, well, I marked the first one, marked all the rest, and then all I had to do was get the hole saw, drill the rest. I had to go up in the attic, make sure I wasn't gonna hit any studs, because you don't want to drill in the middle of a stud, because now you got a useless hole that you gotta repair. So I've done it 5 other times, so I just want y'all to see the last hole I've done. Like I said, I've done it 5 other times, so I've developed a rhythm. So if it seems easy, if I'm making it seem easy, I'm not saying I will. I had to develop one after the first one, it got a lot easier. But luckily the hole saw is a little bit too small, which is perfect because you don't want to possibly drill a hole that's too big, because it's easier to make a hole bigger than it is smaller. So every one I drill, I have to go out and shave out, take my drywall saw and shave out a little more. So this will be sped up, of course. Hole saw, drywall saw. Battery's going dead, but it's the last one.
Is it dead?
Stand by. So this is the actual can. These are LED that I'm putting up, so it's a lot more simple. So this is where your wires run into, wherever you want to run them into. This is your junction box where you make your connections. They made it really easy, stab-in connectors. Personally, I don't like those, but when it comes to maintenance wise, once you put these up, you'll probably never touch them again, so it's just easy. So all you do is, after you strip your wire, stab it in there. The junction box, keep it safe, and to keep you safe, it actually prevents fire. So this will go up into the ceiling, and the only thing that stick out is this little ring flush onto the ceiling if your hole is right. Your LED fixture, which I'll show you that in a minute, plugs into here. After it's up, sticks to there, and then you got that nice little beauty ring with the light. Very simple thing. They always make them a little too big, even before they moved over to fluorescent. I always feel these boxes are way too freaking big for the purpose they serve. But that's just how it is. You can get shallow ones just in case you have like a shallow ceiling, but you saw up there I have a whole attic. Only thing I worry about is support beams or structural beams running across the joist, but I moved all those out of the way. So you take this up. It's like I said, this is gonna be too big, which is perfect. Got some insulation falling. I think I wanna go this way. I have the ceiling joists are running this way, and every now and then I'll have a beam that's supporting those running this way, so I have to make sure this misses this, but luckily you can kind of bend this out of the way as you need to, as long as you don't break any wires. Yeah, I'll take it this way. So you're gonna pick it up like that. So basically what I'm gonna do, of course we'll speed this up, is just shave around this hole just to make it a little bigger, so that slides up in there perfectly. And thing is, to shave off a little bit at a time. You'll create more dust, but you'll keep from making the hole too big. family. Let me get the camera. So, my bad. I got into a roller, got late last night installing the recessed lighting. So I'm back and I finished it up today. I was supposed to catch a few key moments and I got tied up trying to hurry up and finish because I got a couple of things I need to do. But I went ahead and finished, so I'm gonna show y'all the finished product. So basically what I told you, I said I was gonna mark where my hole was. Actually, I go on and show y'all. So I gotta cover that you see back there. I'm gonna get a cover plate to cover that, but there it is. As you see, lights up the room nice and, will it focus? It's trying to focus. Anyway, it lights up the room nice and evenly. 1, 2, oh, they're all right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm happy with how it turned out. So basically what I did was I started with that middle one, put the hole in, went and came down here, measured everything out, drilled a hole right there from the top down, drilled a hole right here in this middle one from the top down, went 6 feet 10 inches because that's where it laid out in the middle of the studs in both directions. Then I measured from the wall out, that hole, that first little pallet hole, measured from the wall out to get that. So that was, on this side it was actually 29 and, what was it, 29 and 5/8, and here, so I'm sorry, this hole was 29 and 5/8. That hole was exactly 30 inches from the wall. So I did that one and that one and that one. I did everything. Those 3 on that side were 30 inches from the hole and they were 6 feet 10 inches apart. These were 29 and 5/8 from the wall and 6 feet 10 inches apart. So that's how you get that to get even, to make sure everything lines up perfectly. So then I ran all the wire and put the can up there. So you showed me, I showed you shaving it. I know, babe, wait. This is why y'all not in tank tops. So y'all ruined it. Showed me shaving it. So after I did that, I had to, you know, put the rest of the boxes up, and then I just ran all the wire. Actually, while I was up there, I found a whole bundle of residential Romex cable, so wire. So I ended up using that instead of my heavy metal cable. Actually, let me show you that because I said I was gonna show you that. Ended up using that bundle. It was like above this ceiling is so much because it's add-ons and everything. So there's so many different little, what do you call it? So many different walls up there. You go up there, there's a bunch of different walls, and I saw a hole knocked out, so I went to just to see what was over there, and then I was like, there's a whole bundle of wire, so I used that. But this is the commercial stuff that I was gonna use. It's this stuff right here. So yeah, it has wires in there, so it has a protective sheathing over it, and I found it a lot easier to run. So yeah, I found that up there. I ran all the wire. What I did was basically just loop it down through each hole and tie it to the light, and then put the light up there. So today, the only thing I had to do was cut the wire and make the connection. Cut the wire, make the connection, put the LED part on, which it just plugs right into it. And there you have it. I got a couple of little spots where it chipped out past where the beauty ring is, but that's a little minor detail. But yeah, that's the finished product. I'm sorry I didn't get to show y'all. I just realized I was cleaning up and I was like, I didn't get to show them, and I don't feel like pulling that back down, to be honest with y'all. But make sure you comment below. If you got questions, ask me. I'll let you know with this or anything else, but particularly with this. And as you see, I took the old one out, took that out. So that's where that's actually where I made that's where I'm pulling my power from, is right there. And I went to the first one, then it's looped all the way around. So another episode of Tank Talks. That was actually a last minute thing. I was like, oh, I'm putting up recessed lighting. Let me get that out of there. Putting up recessed lighting. Let me show them that. But yeah, so if you got any questions, I know y'all missed out large sections of it, but you got a gist of it. So if you got questions, put them below. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. If you got any suggestions, let me know that. I'm gonna catch y'all next time on Tank Talks number 2. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking to when I point it real evil. Number 2, getting it. Nah, but y'all have a good one, family. See y'all soon. Family, so how's it going? So with my recessed lighting project. I'm going to show y'all. It's only really 3 components that you need to put in the recessed lighting. You need I call it the can. Now they call it the housing or whatever. It's still a housing. It's a can. And I call it can lighting. Most people call it recessed lighting. But the reason I call it can lighting is because it's literally, the light fixture is literally inside a can. So if you can see that, that's the actual housing of it. You have many different types depending on what kind of light you're putting in. And they have 2 different types. You have pre-construction, or during construction, and post-construction, meaning remodeling. So you'll see down here, you'll see they have it as new construction and remodel. Those are the 2 different types. So the remodel will look something like this. So what happens is those nails will go inside the stud before you put up drywall and all that stuff. It'll go inside between the 2 studs and hold the light up. And then you go through and do everything else, put the drywall up, cut out the hole, put the light in, and you're done. But remodeling, you don't have that that convenience of everything being open. So you have this box. So with this one, which is what the one that I ended up using, is you cut the hole. You saw me cutting the hole. The 6-inch hole actually have to be a little bit bigger, and you push all that up through the hole, and then push these little, we'll call them feet. I'm sorry, so you can see it. Call these little feet. Basically, you're looking at the exact model the way it is inside, the way it's going inside my ceiling. This would be the drywall or the ceiling, and that'll be the part that you see sticking out. Then the down light will plug into this and go inside there. All this is above the ceiling, and that's the little part where you make the connection. Sorry y'all, phone call. How much went bad as Angel? Oh shoot, no, it's my mama. I'll call her back. I didn't just ignore a call. It actually, I didn't get to it in time. Sorry y'all. I don't know what's up with my throat. Anyway, so that's the actual housing. The next component is the part that you see is this. All these come in different sizes. You have 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch. Now I use 6-inch. You may even have some a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. I think 6 and 5-inch are the most common. So you also will have this. This is the part that you see. These come in different types too. They have the ones that angle, they move back and forth. They have the ones that shoot straight down, which is the ones I got. They have a more recess, which is deeper inside the actual housing, but that concentrates the light to focus straight down. So you may put that near a picture or something like that. But I wanted ones that are a little more shallow, so the light spreads out across the room, put out more light. And the kind that I ended up getting, I don't know, it don't matter. I'm just gonna grab some just to show y'all, oops, exactly how this goes. I'm gonna open this up. I hope they don't mind, because if they do, I don't care. Y'all know me, family. I'm doing this for y'all. It don't matter what Lowe's or Home Depot or anybody else wants. So, hold on, my bad. Y'all hear it out hitting the ground. So, this is what you're actually looking at inside the ceiling. So this piece goes inside there, and the finished product will look like that. That's what you're looking at. And this is all that fits inside that housing. That little orange, this little orange plug plugs into that plug on the thing. Then it has these little prongs that you stick onto here on the metal tab. Focus, focus, focus. It's not focusing. There we go. These little prongs that stick on those, and they'll stick out. They're very flimsy and flexible. So once you put them inside the housing, it'll hold it in place. So that's what you're looking at. Pretty shallow. These actually used to be a lot bigger. It was a whole other makeup, but ever since the LED technology came out, it's getting smaller and smaller, making it even more convenient. So yeah, these are the older ones actually. So it's, I mean, a lot of people still have those in their house, which is fine, but if you already have those in, there's no need to change. You can just change it to an LED bulb if you want to, if you like that light. LED is getting more and more, it's getting cheaper, more and more economical to buy the more popular it gets and the more the technology, because LEDs used to be a lot more expensive and nobody used them because they were so expensive and nobody wanted to do that. And they didn't last as long. They've always been said to last for 10 years and 20 years, but they didn't know because they didn't have any around for 10 or 20 years. And back when I was coming through school, you know, I had an electronics class. We'd always use LEDs and stuff, but they weren't that popular. So now the technology is getting better and they're getting more affordable for people to buy, so it actually is a little bit better. You don't have as big of a carbon footprint that you're leaving when they go bad and all that. juicy green stuff. So anyway, I showed you the housing, I showed you the light. I'm trying to put this back in this box correctly in case somebody comes by to buy this, it'll be the way it should be. The housing, the light, and oh, I told you about the wire that I found up there. I showed you the wire that I planned on putting up there. Let me show you the wire that I ended up using that I found above the ceiling while I'm here. And oh, it's not in the right spot. And I'm gonna show you all the saw, because I never showed you, I don't think I showed you the saw, but I'm gonna walk over here, keep y'all with me, just in case I didn't show y'all the saw. Oh, they have it over here. Pretty sure I did I? You ain't gonna say nothing? You ain't gonna tell me if I showed you or not? Anyway, yeah, I'm talking to the camera. Anyway, he was staring at me like I was crazy. So, I'm in, oh, here we go. So you have a few different kinds. This is called a hole saw. So, this is basically what I use. I don't know if you can see that. But basically it's a circular saw. Not circular as in like a disc, but circular as in like a cone type thing, a cylindrical type shape. And that cuts out a perfect 6-inch hole. Like I said, luckily that hole is slightly too small for the fixture, so you can trim it out to make it the perfect size. And then they usually, it's kind of stupid that they sell them separately, but I guess not, depending on what you use it for, because you'll need this little drill. This stuff ain't cheap. You got $39 and $18, and it's not gonna be, price may vary $1 or $2 depending on what store you go to. But yeah, you have this drill bit that goes inside that, and that's what holds it steady so it's not slipping around when you're drilling your hole, as you saw me do in my recessed lighting. And also, these guys are funny. They work in the hardware stores. I think they're so hilarious. Some of them know what they're talking about, and the other ones is like they don't have a clue. They just like a part-time job for them. A lot of times I'll show up and I'm like asking for that I'm looking for something, and I'll go to it in detail. They're like, oh well, let's I don't know, Sonny, let's go check it out and see. I don't think we have anything like that. Oh, there it is. So, electrical, we're going back this way. Sorry, guys. See how my men's stores, well, not men's stores, but hardware stores, things that I like, it's all organized. If I was with Angel, I'd never find this stuff at one of her stores. Wiring, down here, see, electrical wire. Give me a second. So how y'all doing, family? Doing another tank talk for y'all. Hope y'all like this. So the armored cable, basically, that's not it, is basically this stuff. You have two different types. You'll have a metal flex, which is what this is. This is nothing in it. So you'll feed that, and then you'll have to feed the wire through it. I had armor, this is what, metal flex? Yeah, I had armor cable, so it already has the wire inside. Actually, here's some. Already has the wire inside, whether it's 2 wire, 3 wire, 4 wire, there's just the amount of conductors inside the cable. And because I have so much at my house, a lot of residential, you usually don't put that in residential, but I do it because I have so much of it. From working in commercial buildings and being an electrician, it's always like, especially, hold on, especially a really big project, they'll have a half a spool, which may be 5,000 feet of that stuff, and they're gonna throw it away. I'm like, I think I could use that. So it's gonna be a long time before I have to actually buy a cable or wire. So anyway, I planned on using this, and while I was up in my attic, I found a full roll of, actually mine was 14 gauge, mine was 14 gauge, a full roll of this, 250 feet. So whoever owned the house before me must have been in the middle of doing something. Maybe they hired a contractor. They forgot to take it with them, but I was up there crawling around my attic. I looked over above the kitchen and I found a full roll of this. And this is for residential. They call it Romex. It's actually not Romex is only a manufacturer, but because it's a popular manufacturer, they call it Romex cable. It's actually a cloth and sheet. I can't remember what it's called. It's probably on this package somewhere. But anyway, so that's the wire that I ended up using. So literally those 3 components went into wiring my recessed lighting. The housing, the actual downlight part that I showed you, and the wire. And there's other tools that went, wire strippers, hole saws, all that type of stuff, the drywall saw that you saw me using. So yeah, so that's it. That was my, in case I forgot to show you, because it was, what was it, 2 weeks ago, so I don't remember what I showed you or not. So just wanted to fill y'all in on that. Let me know if you have any questions. What's up, family? I just noticed something. This is what I'm at, Lowe's. They actually have this labeled wrong, and that's exactly what I was talking about. When everybody don't always know, they're not experts a lot of times when you come in some of these stores. So I just noticed they have, and actually this is what happened when I was putting mine in, and I actually ended up getting mine for a really good price because they had it labeled wrong. I actually ended up paying $9 a piece, or $9.98. I think it was a little cheaper when I bought my housing. I was supposed to be paying $12.98, but they had it labeled wrong, and they still have it labeled wrong, and I had forewarned them of this, and I ended up getting mine cheaper. But now hopefully I'm helping out other people because they still have it labeled wrong. So this type of can is a remodel fixture. It's for remodels, because the reason it's for remodels is because of the convenience of it, of only needing to cut a hole to put inside the ceiling. This one is for new construction. When you have new construction, mean there's a skeleton of the house. The framing is only up, so you have the room to put these up. These extend out. They have them anchored down. But anyway, these, like I said, these extend out, nail into the joist, and then you put it at ceiling level, nail that to the joist, then you come back and drywall. However, they have the new construction type on the remodel, and the remodel type on the new construction. I don't know if that affects the price. This one is $9.98, this one's $12. I don't know if it, usually the remodel stuff is a little more expensive because it's, I don't know why. It looks like it's less components, who knows, but like I said, always got to be careful, because you come in here and ask somebody for a new construction or remodel, depending on what you're doing, and if you just tell them that and they don't know, they'll just go to whatever these things say, and you'll be getting the wrong fixture. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. And yeah, do your own research first. Don't take my word for anything. Don't take anybody else's word for anything. Do your own research, or ask somebody that you completely trust. If y'all trust me, that's fine. I don't trust me, I'm just joking. I usually do my research before I start talking. Sometimes I just fly off at the mouth and may not know 100% what I'm talking about, but most times I do. I do make sure that, because of stuff like this though. You expect the experts to know exactly what they're doing, but everybody makes mistakes. So like I said, hopefully if these prices are where they're supposed to be, hopefully so, but if not, hopefully they're saving a lot of people money. So good job, Lowe's. All right, family, here is the final product. So this is the light, the one I showed you. There it is. I had to turn it off because the camera wouldn't focus, as it's starting to go out of focus once again. There we go. So yeah, once you put these lights up, and like you remember the fixture that was hanging there. It if you had like a ceiling fan or any other type of light, it just keeps going out of focus. Any other type of light, once you remove that, and I had to put a box there because it's a hole, and I'll probably patch it so it, you know, cleans it up. But it really opens up the room, opens up the ceiling a lot. So there it is. Hope y'all enjoyed it. There we go. So yeah, that's the finished product. Y'all have a good one.